Well, after laying most of the foundational work, including all of my strapping, sheep wool installation, and wiring, it is time to move into the finishing details. I made a few mistakes along the way that tested my problem-solving capabilities, but now it's time for the fun. In this episode, I pick up my dad to help with the van, and we've gotten so much done already.
Happy Friday, everyone. We made it. What a week that was, man. Oh man, I don't think I've taken a day off. Well, no, I took one day off back in February to go skiing. So let me get everyone up to speed here with what's going on. So I picked up my ceiling and my wall lumber today on my lunch break. This is 3/8 thick pine tongue and groove, and it's not the super thick planks. They make one that's 1 inch thick and also like 6 inches wide. Basically my task tonight, because it's already 6:15 or whatever, is to prep this entire lumber. And so what that entails is sanding it down and then adding 2 layers. I'm just going straight polyurethane. I was going back and forth with stains in terms of, do I want to kind of make it a different color, but I honestly am just going to leave it that natural pine to leave it really bright, earthy, and natural, and then complement that with white and then accent that all with black. So those are kind of my 3 main schemes, and we're kind of layer that out individually from there, if that makes sense. This is obviously not like an ideal setup, but it's honestly all I have. I'm literally just trying to do this in my garage. So I think this will be plenty of room to sand it down, prep it here, and then I can also paint it, and then I'm gonna put it on the cardboard and just let it dry on the floor, and then just swap back and forth from there. So I think it's time to get started. So I got 10 done. This takes like a lot longer than I kind of expected. I need to have about 30 of these, 2 coats. So I should be able to get this done by tomorrow, no problem. I'm super hungry. I haven't ate. I need to go to the store. It closes in 30 minutes. And I'm getting so excited. I'll see you guys in the morning. Lying wide awake, I can sleep tonight. Staring at the ceiling like a restless child. Good morning, everyone. It is an absolutely beautiful day here. I need to pick up my dad later at the airport around like 3 o'clock-ish. So I'm trying to crank this out before he gets here, and then it's gonna be all systems go for building the van. I made a Home Depot trip this morning to get some supplies. So I'll show you guys all that when we do it. So cue the time lapses of preparing the wood. Every day, 24/7, you call my name. This is currently what my garage looks like. I have some here, I have some here, and I have even some more back here. I have 27 done with the first coat, so now I'm gonna try to crank out as many second coats as I can. I completely lost track of time, and now I'm heading down to the airport. My dad has landed in Salt Lake City, so I'm heading down to go pick him up. How you doing, buddy? Good, how are you? There's your house. It seems I've got some stuff going on, so I'll see all of you guys back at the house. Right now we're creating our rack for the solar panel. So there's my dad in the garage. He just absolutely crushed this first piece here. So we basically took these angle irons, these aluminum angle irons, and we measured the distance for the roof rack that we needed the tracks, and we're using those as kind of our bracing for the solar panel. I'm really, really stoked with how we're designing this rack. There's a few online that were around 300 to around 400 bucks. So the fact that we can do this for like literally less than a third of that whole price is why you do some DIY stuff. So we're gonna try to cut this and see if we can get this together.
Yep, and pull just nicely. And the other thing you can do, and I'm not gonna do it, but sometimes because they'll jump, you kind of gotta just kind of keep your thumb just close enough so you can just see, and then you just pull back, just like that. Okay. There's a lot of sharp teeth over here. Every day, 24/7, you come.
This rack is all finished up. Tomorrow we're gonna basically drill into here on each side so we can mount this now to the tracks. But we're gonna wait till we have more light so we don't mess this up more. So once we do that, we can run the solar panel cables down through the battery. So that's all set, and then we will basically be able to just run the roof once we have everything down that we need, and we can seal it all off. So yeah, we're gonna hit the hay, and I'll see you guys in the morning.
What's up, guys? It's pretty early in the morning here on Sunday. I need to finish preparing the ceiling. It's probably gonna take me 2-3 hours still, so grab some coffee and start prepping.
Homies, it has been quite the day of work. I haven't filmed anything because we have just been so locked in. I've been up on the roof what feels like the entire day. We finally got the solar panel up, mounted, cables ran. It was important we did that before we put the ceiling up because we had to get the cables through. So you can see this little tube up there. That is just a piece of conduit, just an electrical conduit that we cut and just kind of made it fit really, really well, and just ran our 2 wires right through there and just silicone sealant around up there. So these are the cables, like I said, from the solar panel that's then going to connect down into the charge controller, which will basically regulate how all of our batteries get charged. So these are super important that we have these. So I briefly showed you guys the solar panel system last night when it wasn't up on the van, but let me show you kind of how we finalized this and how we got this up here. There's a few tricky bits, but I'm really, really stoked with this. I'm sure this isn't like the only design like this out there, but this is completely custom, complete DIY, and I'm really, really stoked on how this came out. Basically, we just used aluminum angle irons from Home Depot. So that's what these big 90-degree looking bars are. There's one here, and then there's one on the back. So this is basically a 3/8 stainless steel carriage bolt. These are all stainless steel parts with a fender washer underneath here, and then another nut on top of that, and then there's another nut, if you can see that, I think you can, right underneath the angle iron, which is acting as our spacer. So really this whole thing is adjustable. Then I'm gonna put a lock washer on top here and then cap it off with this nut that you guys see here. Something that I didn't really know when I got this up here was that the ribs on top of the van they're not like a straight shot across, so we had to lift up the solar panel from the top of the van. So that's why we had to space it. And because we kind of have a thread there, we can basically space it however much we want. So it really opens up the range of options and made it easy to kind of get underneath to adjust the cables and everything like that. And like I showed you guys last night, we literally just drilled right through the front of the angle iron here, right into the solar panel. I think it looks so cool, just one big panel. That leaves me a bunch of space. I might put a solar shower on this end of it, and then ideally some sort of small roof rack up front, I think would really maximize the space here. So 320 watt solar panel, absolutely mint, super, super cool. Just started the first part of the ceiling here, and that's why I put those roof rafters in very early on, was so we had a good nailer for our roof. And so we're just using a nail gun and just ever so slightly putting them right into the tongue so that all the nailers are hidden. They're not face nailed or anything like that, so it's gonna look super, super smooth. And there's just little kinks as we go out here, like kind of the back of the van is a little tapered, as you can see here. So we're just making sure that this is cut nice and even instead of just kind of going straight. Working into the night tonight. Joe's just about to cut a piece here.
Test is always when you put it up.
Yep. Can you go your way?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Probably 1/2 inch. I'm good. And that's how it's done. Basically just lining up the tongue into the groove, making sure it's nice and set in there, and then it's just the matter of shooting a nail in the littlest little sweet spot, so when you kind of cover all those, you don't see any nail left in there. That's what's gonna make it look super, super smooth. So we are on to the next one, and we're getting close to having to draw out the lights. Well, good morning, guys. My camera died last night. It's always cool when you come back in and look at something during the day and you just see like it just looks so good. I'm really, really stoked. I'll come and show you guys, give you a rundown of what we've been doing. And we are just running it right into the rafters, as you can see here. And then you can see just this little nailer, putting it right in the tongue, so you don't really see any sort of face nail. You know, like if you just look at it, you wouldn't see where it's connected. So it looks really, really clean, super professional. And we're running them right back into the headliner here. They're tucking in really, really nicely. So again, it just looks super, super clean. And don't forget, there's gonna be a cabinet here anyways to kind of hide this bit right here. And we're alternating where the seams are. So we're not gonna have like a straight line across. So kind of adding some variance. And then we're also essentially scribing it at the end here to kind of cut it to fit this ever so slightly kind of angle of the van. And then we're probably gonna put a little trim here just so we can also connect them, although they are really solid already. I had a backup camera that I actually need to mount before we close this up, so we need to throw that in. We wanna throw our floodlights in that I showed you guys a few episodes ago. The backup camera I got literally just replaces the third brake light, which is pretty sweet. Then see like this little camera in here. So I had to run this optics cable up, I could connect it to the camera, and then running it all the way to the front of the van where I'll hook it up to a monitor. I'm just cleaning up this old gasket here, gonna smooth all this out and then put the new one on. And the brake backup camera should be all set. So it's actually really, really easy installation. It's called an I-beam, and I think I got it from Sprinter Van Store or something like that, Sprinter Store. Backup camera is installed. Look at that. It looks kind of like a security camera. Here I basically just ran this cable, you can see right along kind of the factory wire loom. And for now I just left it up here, but I'm gonna have to somehow run it up to the front, but that's a problem for another day.
24/7 you call my name and I will come running, yeah, every day.
Look how awesome these spotlights look, or floodlights I guess should I say. We put one there and then one on the back. They're just taped for now because we want to get clear silicone to make sure that they don't leak or anything. We only have white and they'll look pretty atrocious. So we're gonna do a Home Depot run later today and get the clear, but we got them all wired up, tested them, they work. This one was really, really tough. The reason this one was so tough was because there's like this huge kind of structural piece here. So you couldn't just drill right through the side and have it show up. Like we had to take the entire headliner back down and then drill a small hole. You can almost see where that wire nut is back there. We had to drill a hole through there to run the pigtails of the light itself back there. So it was a little tricky, took a lot longer than we thought because like I said, this entire headliner had to drop down so we could get in there. But I'm glad that's done now because I think they're gonna look really, really cool. They're gonna be super useful. Now they're in, they're wired, they work, so now we can just finish up the ceiling and keep moving. So just knocking projects out one at a time. We just cut our holes here for all of our lights. They fit really, really nice. It is a 2 1/8 hole saw, I believe. So it's a pretty beefy hole saw, but it's like the perfect size for the lights. So we measured them. Basically, there's a little variation from the back and front, but basically all the bedroom lights are the same, and they're pretty similar for the kitchen lights, but then all the kitchen ones are pretty much equidistant. You honestly won't even really tell all the way down, but there's a slight variation. But the bigger thing was that we made them all the way straight down either side. So I have 5 lights this way and 5 lights on the other side. So I have a lot of lights in here. Joe is a beast when it comes to the woodworking. This is kind of what his experience is in, is laying like the tongue and groove, for instance, and knowing how to really cut it and make it fit really, really nice. This just looks really, really good. It looks better than I thought it was gonna look. So I'm super stoked on this. We're just crushing it out one after the other. I think it's going so far, Joe.
Well, it's a design on the fly, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
But I think it's gonna be good.
Is it what you expected?
I had no expectations, brother. Spending the day with you, that's it. That's all I'm telling you.
Super stoked in how this just came together. Like, this is honestly beyond what I envisioned. Basically the entire ceiling is ran. We are leaving just a little bit because there's a few wires. We just want to leave it open so we don't totally close ourselves in right now. But you can see like all of these, the lights are ready to go. All this was cut. The flange piece is gonna fit right up here. This is all gonna look super, super clean. Look at how awesome this looks here. Like tucked really, really nicely just behind here. So that looks like superbly nice. All of these are scribed. I think I'm gonna put some sort of trim piece along the back here anyways, but they're all scribed and just cut at like the right angle to just really fit nice here. Thank you guys so very much for watching. First probably of about 4 episodes with my dad here, and you can see we really just crank through this stuff. So I'll see all of you guys in the next episode. Take it easy, fam. Peace out.
Every day.